Welcome to the Varsity Sports broadcast of this 6A Central matchup between the Corona del Sol Aztecs against the Brophy College Prep Broncos. The 2-5 Aztecs come into this game looking to break a two-game losing streak and start a path back to finishing this season with a 500 record. I'm Aaron Decker, and I'm with my broadcast partner, Paul Schultz. Paul, how important is this game for the Aztecs?
Well, Aaron, good to be with you. I think you just summed it up pretty well right there. I think at this point in the season, every game, even more than it could have been earlier on, is important for the Aztecs to win, especially tonight here against a very tough, very sound Brophy Broncos team. And although, the playoff hopes may have dwindled a couple games ago, I think it's still just you want to keep, if you're Coach Barrow and this Aztecs staff, you want to keep the positivity on the way up as you end the season and try to end it, as you said, 5-5 if possible.
Absolutely. Last week, the Aztecs lost 38-13 to the Mountain Point Pride. Aztecs head coach Jake Barrow attributed the loss to the absence of multiple standout players, such as junior wide receiver Raiden Vinesbright. The return of the players like Vinesbright, who is returning today, will be pivotal for the Aztecs. Paul, have you heard of what players are returning, and talk about what Vinesbright does for this team?
Yeah, no, I think Raiden Vinesbright is the one big guy returning for this team, and we've seen it all season long how just absolutely essential he is to their offensive success from the first game to every game we've seen, and we saw how his absence hurt them so bad down the stretch last week against Mountain Point. And although, he didn't add to his numerous statistical leading categories last week because he was out, he still leads the team by far receiving yards per game, the touchdown leader over Connor Ackerley at 6, and he's just the most explosive playmaker on this Corona del Sol offense. And without him, it's really hard to, when you have to rely on the different guys who aren't used to getting touches as often, it's really difficult to be consistent on offense. And I think that consistency and that reliability is one of the things that they're really glad to have back this week.
Yeah, when Raiden's on the field, it's a different ball game. He's just so talented. He's a playmaker. All right, for more on the Aztecs heading into this game, let's toss it over to your interview with Aztecs head coach Jake Barrow.
Paul Schultz here from the Varsity Sports Show, joined by Corona del Sol's head coach, Jake Barrow. Coach, a couple weeks on the road, you're back at home. How much extra juice does that bring you guys coming back to?
It's nice. It's just nice kind of from a preparation standpoint. Your game day runs a lot smoother when you don't have to factor travel in. So that's always nice. And then being able to play in front of the home crowd is exciting always. Our kids feed off that.
And Brophy's kind of established themselves good defending the pass this year. Does that factor in your game planning at all coming up against them tonight?
Yeah, they're probably one of the best secondaries we've played so far. Absolutely, they do a nice job with that. They can run with our receivers, so it's something that we're going to have to be a little more balanced offensively and see kind of, what they give us.
Awesome. Good luck tonight, Coach. Thank you.
Interview, Paul. On the other side of the field, the Brophy Broncos are 5-2 and coming off a 34-6 win over Desert Vista. The Broncos match up well against the Aztecs, who are a pass-heavy offense. The Broncos have tallied 11 interceptions through 7 games and 16 sacks. Paul, what will the Aztecs need to do well today to come away with a win?
Well, you mentioned that glaring number of interceptions for the Broncos on defense, and I think we saw last week how much Connor Ackerley loves to throw the ball and throw it deep. And so they're going to have to be as precise as they have been or could be all season long if they want to limit the interceptions that Brophy tries to create on defense, because we mentioned they are very pass-heavy. They have a strong rushing attack, but especially with Raiden Vinesbright back, they're really expected to lean heavy on the pass game.
Well, that is going to do it for our pregame. When we come back, we will have kickoff here at Corona del Sol High School as the Aztecs face off against the Broncos.
Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
All right, we are back. Well, it is a 93 degrees, Paul. It's a nice warm weather day here for football. It should be a pretty good atmosphere, good crowd. Marching band just finished with the national anthem, which was heard. I will stop before we continue on here. You just did an interview with Jake Barrow, the head coach of the Aztecs. For anyone who wants to listen to a post-game wrap-up, he will be doing it from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow on KDUS AM 1060 in that 9 o'clock hour. All right, Paul, we should be kicking off here pretty soon. Both teams are meeting at the 50-yard line for the coin toss and the captain's meeting. What are you thinking heading into this game?
Well, it's just going to come down to what it's come down to every year, or every game, excuse me, this year for the Aztecs. Early on, they've got to, no matter what side of the ball they're on, they've got to either get a stop on that first possession or score on their first possession. And it may seem kind of like an obvious solution there, but that's something that it's really, they need to set the tone early, because that seems to be the way this team trends. Is they build off of momentum, and they've got to get that ready to go early.
Absolutely. You know, we talked in the pregame about Raiden Vinesbright, how important he's going to be. I wonder how fast they're going to try and get him in the pass game going, and how early they're going to try and get him going, and see if that can maybe spark something and get them going early in the game.
Well, we've seen two different approaches this season from Coach Barrow, in that early on in the season, they really fed the ball to Nick Mastachia a lot in their first couple drives. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it doesn't. But the thing I tend to make a comment on is you can only hand it off to him so many times before the defense figures it out. And, they rushed a couple more, and Mastachia, he's powerful, but it's so hard to get through, 5, 6 guys on the line. And especially when the Aztecs, admittedly are an undersized team compared to some other teams they play against. Coach Barrow's talked about that before, that they may not have the size that some of these other teams have, but they're really gritty and they really just fight. And on the other side, we've seen them a couple times throw the ball a lot more on their opening possession, and I think they've had more success doing that than they had establishing the run game early on. But I think there's no doubt that Raiden will be targeted early on. And for the Broncos, that's the X factor you're going up against. I'm sure they're well aware of how talented Raiden Vinesbright is as a receiver. He's gotten a lot of national attention from colleges as well, so they're ready for it. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Absolutely. Well, the Aztecs are going to kick off first, and the Broncos will have the ball first. Christian Camarada is in the backfield as well, ready to receive the kick, along with Cree Thomas as well. Our referees for the day is Pat McDonald, head referee, umpire Anthony Hicks, heads linesmen Robert Griggs, line judge Tim Vaughn, and back judge John Pentland. Malcolm Flynn for the Aztecs getting ready to kick the ball off to the Broncos. And he's tackled at the 30-yard line where the Broncos will start their offensive set. What can you say about this Aztecs defense and what they need to prepare for as well and how they've been doing this season?
Well, they've struggled in spots. They've been inconsistent. As nicely as I can put it, they have been inconsistent throughout the year. But when they bring pressure up the middle, they're pretty good at stopping the run. But we'll just have to see. Brandon Holmes is a guy to watch out for. He's been he's been a big part of this Aztecs defense all year long. So expect to see a bunch from him early on.
And Charlie McGinnis is the quarterback for the Broncos. He awaits the snap. Two wide receivers to his left. Motions over one to his left as well. Takes the snap, but we do have a flag. Looks like a false start.
Dead ball. Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Delay of game for the Broncos early, and that'll set them back here at their 25-yard line. You know, sometimes you just need things to go your way. It's like a little defensive moving around here as some players move onto the sidelines. That's going to be Jai Jones who's moving now back onto the defense.
Yeah, I haven't noticed him. He's played defensively, but he's more prominent as a wide receiver for the Aztecs for the most part, replacing Kevon Thomas.
Another motion, two receivers to his left. McGinnis takes it, hands it off. And a nice little run there should get them back to where they were before the penalty at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, but I'll credit the Aztecs for not giving up a big play on that. They did that a lot in their last game, and so initially here in the first couple plays, the sample size we've seen is pretty good.
And they're playing fast here, hurrying up, and that goes to McGinnis, who runs up the field for a nice little gain. But good job on the Aztecs swarming around him, but they're playing fast here.
Yeah, that's the key to the game here on offense is you want to tire out the defense as quickly as you can, and quick tempo here.
McGinnis again. 3rd and 3 for the Broncos. A minute into the game. Chambers has gotten the ball so far for the Broncos. McGinnis takes the ball, looks across the field, down throw! And that ball kind of juggled in his arms and was deflected by the Aztecs.
Yeah, I saw Cambrell Walker in the area, but coming across on that, I believe, was Ariane Wade, almost picked it off.
And that was receiver Jax Ryan, who was the intended target for that, and they're going for it here on this important 4th and 3 early in the game. McGinnis looks to the sidelines, and they might reconsider here as they take a timeout, and we'll keep it here as well. Well, for the Aztecs, that's a nice little start so far. You have an important 4th and 3 right now in which you have a chance to stop the Broncos. And
yeah, it looks like they might be changing their mind. They're going to go punt team here.
Maybe a little bit too risky early in the game.
Yeah, I think the coaches over on Brophy's sideline were a little frustrated with maybe some miscommunications with the play calls or whatnot. But right, early on in this game, especially with the way the defense have stepped up for the Aztecs, you don't want to give them the ball with good field position.
And Cambrell Walker is ready for the punt return for the Aztecs. Nice little punt Walker takes it. He's running down to the 50-yard line, the 45, 40, and tackled at the 42-yard line.
I think the man coming downfield kind of jumped the gun there. He was trying to get in the way of Canberra Walker and just ran right past him because he mistimed it. And that'll set up Connor Ackerley in this offense inside inside the Broncos' territory.
Yeah, they're in a nice spot early in the game. Ackerley has 3 wide receivers to his right. Quick throw and out of bounds for Zuri Glenn, who's also, we talked a lot about Vinesbright, but Zuri Glenn has been a pivotal part for this offense as well.
Yeah, he averages 59.6 yards per game, but he really stepped up as the number 1 guy in last week's contest with Vinesbright out.
So nice catch there, but no gain. 2nd and 10 still for the Aztecs. Ackerley takes it. Walks around in the pocket, moves around, and does a slide for a nice little gain to keep the Aztecs moving down the field.
Yeah, we've seen Ackerley be able to take off with it sometimes, but I think he really made the right choice there, making sure he protected himself first as he went to the ground and slid with it.
Yeah, Ackerley leads the team in rushing with 202 yards on 34 carries heading into this game. 3rd and 7 for the Aztecs. Again, a pivotal moment for the team as they try and see if they can just get something going early in the game. Annerly takes it, looks to his left, scrambles, moving around the pocket, and makes a nice little lead. But it will be a 4th down still, 4th and 7 for the Aztecs.
I mean, it's never great to see your quarterback have the pocket collapse and feel that pressure, but I will say Ackerley this week compared to last week when the pocket collapses on him, he's looked a little more elusive here on these first couple plays than whereas last week he just had nowhere to run.
Well, that Broncos defensive line is getting through pretty fast, so it's a great job on Ackerley's part to be able to find a little bit of holes and see where he can go. But it does look like they are going to go for it on this 4th and 9. Ackley calling out at the line, shotgun, 3 receivers to his right, and it looks like they will also take a timeout and maybe possibly, just as the Broncos did, reconsider and see if they're going to do something else.
Yeah, I think they just couldn't get the snap off in time. That play clock wound down to around 2 seconds, and they had to burn a timeout early.
Both teams so far burning a timeout within the first 3 minutes of the game. Right now it might not seem like a big deal, but heading into the end of the half, that could be something that they regret or might not matter.
Well, hey, maybe the offense not getting exactly what they wanted on the first drive, but the defense stepping up really big on that first possession for Brophy. And Malcolm Flynn with a chance to pin him deep here.
Nice opportunity for Flynn, just as you said, to be able to pin them deep. Cree Thomas again in the backfield, along with Christian Camarada for the Broncos. Flynn takes the punt. Nice punt high in the air. And it's going to be a fair catch at about the 19-yard line for the Broncos.
That's an intelligent punt from Malcolm Flynn, the man who is committed to go to Brown after his high school time is over. I think he has a 4.5, definitely above a 4 GPA. And he's very strategic with his punts.
That GPA also, helps out on the field too, as you see. Making a smart, fair catch, not trying to gamble too much. The Broncos get back on the field now, and that's going to be McGinnis now as the quarterback, like he was in the last drive. Gives it to the running back for a nice gain. About 4 yards.
Keena Brill was the one who made the tackle on that for Corona del Sol.
McGinnis and Chambers in the backfield right now. 2 receivers to his left. 3 receivers, my apologies. Screen pass. Able to get through 1 defender. Tackled just short of the first down.
Flag coming in on the Aztec sideline.
Sideline warning. Corona. First one.
And a sideline warning for Corona.
I didn't see a whole lot of shouting or something. They might have creeped out onto the field as they were watching that play unfold.
And that was Jax Ryan on that catch. But nonetheless, it is 3rd and 2, 8 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first quarter. McGinnis motions over Jacob Buggy across the field. Handoff again. And it looks like they
Ooh, it's hard to
might
tell
have
from here,
got
but I
that
think they
first down.
might. Trying to determine where the first down marker is spotted.
Right now,
See him moving the chains, though?
yeah, I'm not seeing it. Right now, we're at a 4th and 1. You know, we saw them reconsider on that 4th down on their first drive. This is a little bit shorter distance. 4th and 2 now is the official call on that. See if they give it off again. Another running play. And it looks like they did get it on that one. Harrison Chambers running the ball again, getting through. And these will be a first down for the Broncos.
Well, that last play, although it didn't work the way they wanted it to, it was a good set, and as was the 4th down play, and that when they motion the receiver, they've got to keep the defense on their toes, and it's hard to kind of get set and stop the run as easily.
McGinnis takes the snap, looks downfield, quick pass. Receiver heading downfield, got the first down. Now at midfield where he's tackled by the Aztecs. Nice gain for the Broncos, who are starting to find a way to move downfield with the run game and the pass game.
Well, that was a perfect short pass and a great job by the receiver there to just be short of the swarm and not get too far outside to where he'd run into traffic.
And the Broncos just going up-tempo here, getting to the line really fast, and a quick throw to Jacob Buggy from McGinnis. No gain on that, but we're seeing some up-tempo play from the Broncos early on.
Yeah, it's an intense offense. Coach Jewell, very well respected. Coach Jason Jewell, the head coach of Brophy in the Arizona football community, and I think he knows what he's doing there.
2nd and 10. McGinnis does the handoff. No, it's a pass, but not caught by wide receiver Christian Camarada. And it'll now be 3rd and 10 for the Broncos and a chance for the Aztecs defense to come up again and try and stump the Broncos.
It's interesting. You see him really go up-tempo quick, and then when that didn't work on a 3rd and long, they take their time.
McGinnis passes it downfield. Receiver is thrown out of bounds. That's going to be Jax Ryan, and that's going to be a first down.
That was, again, just the one route that was in the perfect spot, perfect place at the perfect time, just past the sticks and out of bounds.
And again, we're seeing no huddle. McGinnis takes the snap, fumbles the ball. It looks like the handoff was a little bit messy on that, but McGinnis recovers the ball.
I wonder if the Aztecs coaches were wishing they brought pressure on that one, because it just kind of sat on the ground for a second before he even realized that the ball was out.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the downside of that up tempo is you're going so fast, that there are moments where you're going to jumble.
Mm-hmm.
But the Broncos resettle now. 2nd and 12 for them. Motions over his receiver. McGinnis looks downfield, eyes Chambers. Chambers tackled for a short gain. It will be a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, the Aztecs really trying to limit the big plays. You see the guys drop back deep, but when you get an athletic guy with a short pass there, it can really, come to hurt you. But again, as you said, now 3rd and 7, so another chance for a stop.
McGinnis hands it off to Chambers. Chambers gets a nice little gain before he is tackled by an Aztecs defender, and it will be a 4th down.
I think that was number 7, Mason Alexander, who was able to wrap up the Brophy ball handler.
McGinnis with Chambers to his left, 2 wide receivers to his left as well. Aztecs have 4 players on the defensive line right now. Looks like McGinnis is hearing from the sidelines what the play is. Motions over his wide receiver. Now 3 wide receivers to his left. McGinnis moves to his left, pump fakes, deep downfield, throws it. Oh, it's just outside of his reach. Looks like he might have had a chance, but the Kayvon Thomas for the Corona del Sol Aztecs was covering him well.
Excellent coverage by Thomas. He tried to, I think he was initially trying to jump that pass as we saw him kind of trail the receiver going downfield. Once he realized it was over his head, he just jumped out there, and it was kind of out of the reach of both of them, but still a great play.
Great play from the Aztecs defense, and we are seeing some aggressive play now for that 4th down attempt. Didn't go the Broncos' way, but they were able to move downfield with the pass game and the run game rather efficiently. But the Aztecs are now back on offense. 4 minutes and 16 seconds left in this first quarter. Ackerley takes the ball, throws down deep, and it's caught by the receiver. He's running downfield, and he is going to score a touchdown for the Aztecs.
Any guesses? I think it's Raiden Vinesbright.
What did we say? How early were they going to try and get him in? And that is a touchdown for Vinesbright, who missed last week's game. And right off the bat, his first attempt to him, a touchdown.
Well, we mentioned in the pregame, Connor Ackerley loves to throw it deep when he's got a shot, and Raiden Vinesbright just in the perfect spot with that one-on-one matchup. And once he catches the ball and has a little bit of space, nobody can catch him.
Just a great reception from him, and was able to just put on the boosters to get downfield. Now the field goal attempt, point after attempt, is good for the Aztecs. 7-0 Aztecs, 3 minutes and 53 seconds left to go. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2Times.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
We are back here with the Corona del Sol Aztecs leading the Brophy Broncos 7-0 after a huge Raiden Vinesbright reception for a touchdown that got the Aztecs on the board. The Aztecs now set to kick off against the Broncos. Nice kick right at the 1-yard line of the Broncos. Got some yardage there if he's able to find a hole. Tries to move to his right. Escapes the defender, still moving downfield, and he's finally grabbed at the legs and brought down at the 35-yard line.
Great job by Cree Thomas there to just kind of scramble around there back and forth and finally found his way upfield just out of traffic and finally brought down by the Aztecs. So a big test here to see if they can keep the pressure on after just a couple plays on offense.
A lot of men on the offensive line right now. It could be a run play possibly. 2 receivers, 1 receiver to his left and 1 to his right. It is indeed a run. Able to get about 4 to 5 yards on that play, and that looked like that was Carlos Estrada for the Broncos. We had seen Chambers in there previously, but looks like they might try and get a fresh set of legs in there and see what they can get going. And another, continuing an up-tempo play here. Again, a lot on that offensive line. 2 wide receivers in. Another handoff. Moves around to his left. Looks like, oh, and he just knocked right into his own lineman or receiver, looks like that there, and was brought down by the Aztecs for a first down.
I bet the whoever he bumped into wishes he was just a hair off to the side, because I don't think anyone would have caught him.
Handoff again. Again, he finds some space on the left-hand side, running down the 20, the 10, and knocked out just after the 10-yard line. But a nice run. Broncos are really finding a way to use that run game to move downfield here.
Absolutely. That's worked pretty well for him up that left side. And even when it seems like you can see that it's coming based on the set that they use, they've still been able to make it work.
Does look like we have a flag here. We'll move it over to our referee and see what the call is.
False start offense, 5-yard penalty.
I think that time the up tempo just kind of was a little too much for everyone to get set.
We've seen that a little bit where that up tempo can kind of, bite them a little bit, but they take the snap here. Quick throw to the wide receiver, tries to find a gap, tackled, but there is a flag, and we'll see what that call is here.
We're going to go half the distance. Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Face mask on the Aztecs, and that's what you don't want to see when your team just went up and scored. You don't want to have any penalties on your defensive side that help the Broncos out. Looks like there's a stoppage in play as they might be looking at the spot of the ball, possibly, Paul.
Yeah, not totally sure right there. Or maybe they were just clarifying the call on the previous penalty. Yeah, they bring in the official from the far side to discuss.
Whatever the case is, it looks like it will be a 1st and 5 on the goal line, just 5 yards away from the goal. And it is Carlos Estrada who is their running back right now. He's gotten him downfield this entire drive. 290 yards for him on the season on 57 carries. Receiver motions over to McGinnis's right. Another handoff to Estrada, who tries to find his way into the goal line, pushed by his offensive lineman for a touchdown for the Broncos. 6 points for the Broncos, who bring on their kicking team.
Well, the high tempo all the way downfield. The run game was working, and there we see it again.
And it'll be Connor Fury who's going to be taking the kick here with the point after attempt. And that point after attempt is good. Tie game, 7-7, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll be right back after these commercial break.
Hi Varsity sports fans, this is Shai Gara. Make sure you stay tuned for our halftime where we break down different highlights from sports locally or otherwise, so plenty of entertainment and content coming your way if you stick around with us. What I personally think is cool about our halftime show is we cover different sports, maybe some you might not expect, and a variety of different content, of course, high school football, and maybe some professional stuff such as NFL highlights from the previous week.
back, but that will be the end of the first quarter. 7-7 in this game. We'll head it over to this commercial break.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
The start of the second quarter in this game, where it is tied 7-7. Aztecs are here at a 3rd and 11 as they try and keep their offense on the field.
Going the other direction now, they look over to the play, or look over to the sideline to try and reset the play.
And, you know, we've seen them use Quentin Bradley pretty heavily so far on this drive. And we'll see if they try and use his versatility here. But at 3rd and 11, they might even try and attack Vinesbright here, who's obviously been a playmaker for him.
Yeah, I think he's guarded one-on-one on the right side on the bottom of the screen.
Ackley looking downfield, tries to move around. That defense is getting to him pretty well. Still moving around, looking downfield. Bradley gets it. Nice reception, but maybe, if lucky, it's a 1-yard gain.
Right, yeah. Vinesbright, I saw him trying to make a move to get himself open there, but when you've got such a hectic pass rush coming in for Connor Ackley, it's hard to step up in the pocket and throw, especially on 3rd and long, and they will elect to punt here.
Malcolm Flynn, the punter for the Aztecs, will come out here. 2 returners in the backfield for the Broncos. Flynn takes the punt. Nice twirling ball downfield. The returner will take the ball and tackled by about 3 Aztec defenders around him, brought down by 1. And the Broncos will be at their own 28-yard line.
Christian Camarada on the return, but that was a really good play by Malcolm Flynn. You just see how poised he is as a punter, where the snap kind of was low and he had to pick it off a bounce, and it just looked like any other punt he's done so far.
You know, that chemistry between the long snapper and the punter is so pivotal. McGinnis, the quarterback for the Broncos, out on the field. Quick pass, quick screen over to his receiver. Tries to juke his way past the defenders, but met by the second defender for about a 2-yard gain.
Jax Ryan there met by Brandon Holmes.
Harrison Chambers back out there for the Broncos. We saw him take the last drive off. But he's back out there. They fake the handoff to him. Quick pass again. The receiver is able to get through 1 defender, but brought down after getting the first down, though.
Yeah, that was just another unlucky spot for the catch where he ran into his own guy again, but he was kind of able to spin off of it, sort of like a screen in basketball. And I think there's a timeout for some sort of injury, or just giving the players a breather there.
Yeah, it looks like there might be an injury. We're unable to see it to see who the player is or where they're at. It's right at the sideline, the Corona del Sol Aztecs sideline. Yeah, that was over to Christian Camarada, who we saw has been utilized so far in this drive. He's he's a wide receiver for the Brophy Broncos, a junior, 5'10", 175 pounds. Second in their receptions and yards with 265 on 25 receptions, averaging 10.6 yards per game. And just to catch up, still 7-7 here. 10 minutes and 12 seconds left. Second quarter just got started here. Both teams really so far have we've seen definitely for sure the Broncos have utilized it up tempo and using that running game. And while the Aztecs have been using trying the long ball, we obviously saw that Vines Bright touchdown. It's interesting, two different styles of the way they're attacking it. One's a lot of pass and one's a methodical run game.
Yeah, and the Aztecs have kind of had the stop and go flow on offense where they get really hot really quick, and then when they get stopped, it's just kind of hard to reignite that flame.
Looks like that injured player, will try and get to who it was able to get off the field on his own. Broncos back now in the field. 1st and 10 for them. Motions over Camarada. Four Aztecs defenders on the line. 2 wide receivers to his left and his right. Handoff over to Chambers, able to get through a few defenders, spun around, still on his feet, running downfield, eventually brought down at the 21-yard line. Another big run gain for the Broncos.
Wow, that was Harrison Chambers. He didn't even miss a beat. Like, he didn't get tripped up at all in the backfield. Didn't even have to really make a big move. Just kept on running.
And they keep it with, McGinnis actually faked it off to him, does a little juke, was able to get a few yards on that. Yeah, they're definitely utilizing that run game, whatever they can. If it's not going through Chambers or Estrada, they're trying to use it with their quarterback, McGinnis.
He got inside the 5 on that play. The only thing was, because he's so tall, it's easy to kind of just push him a little bit and get him to fall one way or another.
Chambers still in the backfield with McGinnis. Looks like they've packed up that offensive line. Chambers again giving the ball hit, and he's trying to get into the goal line. It looks like he might just be short. I'm not seeing any signs from the refs that it's a touchdown. He tried, though. He was trying his hardest to get in there.
Yeah, he really did with the help of his offensive line, but I think an initial hit from the defense stopped the forward progress, and that's what the officials saw.
6 linemen on the offensive line, and it's a QB sneak. And it looks like that will be the touchdown that's going to give the Broncos the lead here so far. Still waiting for a touchdown for the Broncos. A McGinnis 1-yard QB sneak.
Well, that's so tough to stop because you've got the defense is so focused in keeping the line back that when he was able to just jump right over it, and he doesn't have to get his whole body over, just the ball has to cross the line. And he was able to stretch forward and get it in.
Charlie McGinnis with the score there, their quarterback, 6'3". Definitely easy to get over that line for sure. And the point after attempt is good. And the Broncos now go up a touchdown. 14-7 on the Aztecs. 8 minutes and 22 seconds left in this second quarter. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Here at Corona del Sol High School, where the Brophy Broncos just scored a touchdown. They are now up 14-7 on the Aztecs with 8 minutes and 22 seconds left in the half. Short kick over to the Aztecs, but it's fumbled, luckily recovered by the returner there. We'll see who that was. That didn't seem, was that the kicker who was kicking that ball? Do you see that, Paul?
Yeah, that was kind of a trick play sort of thing, and I think the very high spin kick was part of the plan there, and you saw it was kind of tough to handle for the receiver, but he did secure it.
And the Aztecs will be at their 27-yard line here, trailing a touchdown. 1st and 10 for them. Ackerley hands it off to his running back, who was brought down after a gain. And, after seeing that drive where they had Quentin Bradley in there, they bring it back and have Nick Mustachia back on the drive. He's kind of been their bell cow this season, I would say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the first half. They've really used him to just try and power through for short yardage situations, and they got a couple out of him there.
Ackley in shotgun position, 3 wide receivers to his right. Another handoff to Mustachia. Keeps going. They had 1 defender on him, kept driving. And it'll look like it'll be about a 1 to 2 yard gain.
Yeah, and you see the way Mustachia runs is a lot different than the way Quentin Bradley runs. He just kind of puts his head down and feels his way for an open lane or makes one for himself instead of trying to get outside quickly and sprint upfield.
All right, so Ackerley heads to the sideline right now as Mustachia is the only one in the... Looks like they have Bruce Swearingen, who's now at the QB position. Mustachia is still into his right. Swearingen moves to his right. Uses some speed to try and get that first down, and he does. Just was able to find a hole on that defense. Had Mustachia there as his blocker and was able to just get that first down.
Well, that's interesting because we saw Cruz Swearingen a lot at the end of last season when Ackerley got injured in the last couple games, but it didn't seem like Connor Ackerley had a big injury there. Maybe they're just trying a different look to see how it goes.
Swearingen just has only 5 attempts so far on this season. Hands it off to the running back, who gets a nice little gain there.
And I think the reason they might be doing this is because Swearingen, aside from being the backup quarterback, spends most of his time as a wide receiver, and they've used him to throw for a couple trick plays, but maybe that he just gives them a better sort of not run pass option, but kind of keeping it himself.
Again, just like you said, he keeps the ball himself, moves to his left, runs down, and gets that first down. It looks like, if anything, might just be a little bit short, but I think it's gonna be a first down. But yeah, they're using his legs a lot just to try and keep that defense off balance, because you have the power of Mustachia, and now you have this speed versatility with Swearingen.
It's almost like having Quentin Bradley in there, but a guy who can throw it just as well as he can run it. As we see Ackerley over on the sideline next to Coach Barrow, and Quentin Bradley just kind of sprinted over to talk to one of his coaches, maybe his position coach.
1st and 10, 5 minutes and 54 seconds left in this half. Swearingen in the shotgun position. Takes the ball, looks downfield, does pass it. It's bobbled and intercepted by the Broncos, where he is down, but that is going to be a turnover. We saw them bring in Swearingen. He wasn't passing a lot. He did pass on that. It's an interception, and now it's a turnover for the Aztecs, and the Broncos will have the ball in pretty good field position.
Yeah, he's not happy about that one. I thought it was a beautifully thrown ball, a tight spiral, but thrown really hard, and maybe it was just a little too much for Zuri Glenn to hold on to there.
Swearingen had 5 attempts heading into this game. That'll be his first interception of the season. But now the Broncos are on the offense with McGinnis in the shotgun position. Handoff to his running back, And the Aztecs defense meets him right there for a loss of yards.
Yeah, going back to Swearingen, I was just kind of trying to keep an eye on the sideline to see when the offense huddles up and they look at they analyze their last drive, who was going to sit down on the bench, but it seems like Ackerley and Swearingen are together over on the sideline.
2nd and 11 for the Broncos. Another handoff to their running back. Gets through a hole in the offensive line, but brought down rather quickly. That's kind of the difficult thing is it was working for them having Swearingen in there with his speed and versatility. Even though it was a turnover, it necessarily wasn't a bad decision to go that way. It's not. Definitely could keep doing that and try and utilize that.
Well, and you could argue that any quarterback is going to have the chance of throwing an interception like that.
McGinnis with the quick pass and brought down on that 3rd down play. Should be a 4th down here for the Broncos, and it looks like they're going to bring out their punt team. So good job on the Aztecs defense, who are able to protect the ball and make sure the Broncos don't go down the field and score on a turnover.
Yeah, that's just one of those drives where the defense really picked up the offense, and that's teamwork right there, is when they can support both sides of the ball, support each other, and give the offense a chance here.
Nice punt, drops down. Brandon Holmes in the punt return, but it is touched by the Broncos at the Aztecs 19-yard line.
So who comes out at quarterback to start this drive? I'm still scanning the field.
Well, Ackerley's still on the sidelines. We'll see if it'll be Swearingen. I'm not seeing him on the field right now. I'm seeing Quentin Bradley and Jai Jones.
Yeah, we see Ackerley. Oh, there's Swearingen, does come back out. So they're going to keep trying this different look that we haven't seen much this season.
Interesting. And, when the Aztecs have struggled to be able to win games, you might also try and find new ways to do things or mix it up a little bit.
Certainly.
Like we said, Swearingen is quarterback right now. Uses his legs again. Nice quick run up the middle, but brought down most likely for no gain.
Well, and I think that maybe Ackerley now comes back out on the field. He'll replace Nick Mestaccia as Swearingen stays in at wide receiver, but a caution to the viewers here, watch the trick play. It's possible. We've seen it before a couple times.
Ackerley back. Receivers to his right. Ackerley takes a snap, looks down for a quick throw to Jai Jones, and he is met and brought down by the Broncos defender.
The throw kind of took him back from where he was hoping to catch it. Still a short gain.
And that was Billy Eastep on that tackle for the Broncos. It'll now be 3rd and 9. Aztecs at their 31-yard line. 33-yard line. 3rd and 7 for the Aztecs. Broncos showing a little bit of pressure here. Could be trying to send it. Ackerley moves around, just looking to talk to his receivers. 2 receivers to his left and his right. Ackerley takes a snap, looks to his right, finds a quick, there it is, Ray, and it's a drop from Vinesbright. He had a lot of field right around him, no defenders on him, and a lot of field with that speed to go down. And that'll be a 4th down for the Aztecs.
He had plenty of room. I got to agree with you there, Aaron, but it's kind of the old cliche. You got to be able to catch the ball before you can run with it.
Vinesbright is so good that anytime he touches the ball, he could be scoring. So, you always say don't look downfield too early.
Right.
Sometimes you're such a good receiver, that's kind of where your head starts to go if that was the situation there. But nonetheless, it will be the Aztecs punting here. Nice punt, and it'll be a fair catch with the Broncos, who will be at their 35-yard line. And sorry, Paul, you go.
No, I was just going to say the clock continues to run here. It's kind of a live clock as we near the 2-minute mark. And for Brophy, you got to say, oh, well, they've got to work fast. Well, they have been working fast all game long, and they're used to the the typical 2-minute drill, if you will, with their already quick tempo offense.
No kidding. That this entire game has pretty much been a 2-minute of tempo
Yes.
for them so far. Chambers is the running back in for the Broncos right now with McGinnis at quarterback. 2 receivers to his left and his right. Hands it off to Chambers. Another quick burst up the middle and should be just short of the first down. And we're starting to see them, the Broncos running game starting to get really big gains on these runs. Aztecs have 4 on the line. McGinnis takes the snap. Again to Chambers. One-handed catch. Hit by the Aztecs defender as he tried to move back into the field, but brought down. But a nice gain, and that Chambers-McGinnis tandem is working well.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, that's a play that a lot of guys couldn't make, just extending his arm out and being able to haul in that catch.
Carlos Estrada now in for the Broncos. McGinnis pump fakes. Quick throw again. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty. There might have been a hit after that on that reception. We'll see what our head ref has to say.
I think they're going to get Cambrell Walker for the late hit, but they might discuss it because that's a very close play to where it could have gone either way.
Personal foul. Defense. Unnecessary roughness. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Yeah, I don't think it was the contact that really got him there. I think Walker might have just added a little extra shove at the end of that play that, given that it was a dead ball, really wasn't necessary.
The Broncos on the Aztecs 18-yard line. 1st and 10 for them after that penalty. Chambers back into the game. They hand it off to him. 2 defenders in the backfield were able to meet him. And he's brought down after just a short gain. No gain, actually. 2nd and 10. And like you said, that up-tempo was really working throughout the game, and it's working here as well.
A minute and a half to go in the half. And great field position in this situation inside the 20.
Aztecs have about 6 players in the box right now. Hand it off again to fake handoff. Play action pass deep downfield, and there was a wide open wide receiver for the touchdown right in the middle of the end zone. And that is going to put the Broncos up by 2 scores, possibly heading into halftime. A minute left.
Well, I think we've seen it firsthand how deceptive that fake handoff quarterback keeper sort of is.
And we've seen Christian Camarada be a big part of this game so far, and he was the one that caught that reception. No defender on him. Looked like he just kind of got lost in the back there. The PAT is good. With a minute and 7 seconds left, the Broncos lead by 14, 21-7. We'll keep it here as we're nearing halftime. Well, if you're the Aztecs, we've kind of seen this throughout the season. They kind of get brought down to these situations where they kind of have to be forced to, I mean, it's early. You're not forced to do anything at this point, but you're at this point where you're going to start having to pass a lot.
Well, yeah, and I think I've liked what I've seen compared to maybe the similar score, the similar situation that the Aztecs have had before, but they've been able to bounce back a little bit better than they have in the past couple of games, in my opinion. And Coach Barrow, I think he's been in these situations before with little time to work with, and Connor Ackerley is kind of the perfect quarterback for this because he likes to throw it deep, and if they can look at the sidelines, they've got the guy that can make the big play for him actually standing next to Connor Ackerley on the sideline right now in Raiden Vinesbright. The two were just talking to their head coach as they're probably trying to scheme up something here at the end of the first half.
Connor Fury here for the kick. Holmes and Thomas set to return for the Aztecs. Minute and 7 seconds left. See what the Aztecs can do with a short amount of time. They do have 2 timeouts left. Spinning kick right at the 1-yard line in the end zone. Runs into his own man. Looks like that was Mustachia. And he's brought down at the 21-yard line. We've kind of seen that, a few players running into their own guys so far.
Yeah, on both teams, I think it's just when you're so locked into trying to get upfield, you kind of have tunnel vision and you can't see who's in front of you necessarily. You just try to push forward, and that time it happened to be his own guy.
Yeah. It's tough also if you're the blocker, you're not able to see who's
Right.
behind you as well.
And then it just creates all sorts of confusion when you're like, why is this guy running into me from behind?
3 defensive backs in the backfield for the Broncos. Ackley passes downfield and another dropped pass, but there is a flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense. 15 yards, previous spot. That's going to be a first down.
Well, these are the situations where those penalties really come into play, because that, especially with the time winding down, those free passes that give you an extra 10, 15 yards, there's nothing better than that, really.
The Aztecs will now be on their 39-yard line. First and 10, 52 seconds left. 2 timeouts for both teams. Looks like there's going to be some pressure from the Broncos. 2 defenders in Ackerley's pocket, and they bring him down for the sack.
Yeah, a little late rush there coming off the edge from the Broncos, and that's just what they needed to bring him down. Somebody just called a timeout.
Yeah, it should be a timeout. That's going to be called on the Aztecs who called that timeout. Probably just try and huddle up here, find the best play they can in a 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 situation. But yeah, just like you were saying before that penalty, we saw that with the Aztecs in the last drive for the Broncos as they were going downfield. That penalty that was able to get the Broncos right up pretty much within their own goal line. The Aztecs want to take the same advantage here as well and take advantage of that penalty, but that sack's going to bring them back.
Yeah, it's one of those, you get a couple and then you get brought back a little bit. Thankfully, that was only a loss of 1 yard, it looks like. But the bigger problem is the time that it takes off the clock. And thankfully, the Aztecs at that point still had 2 timeouts to burn. They've only got 1 now. So they're going to have to be strategic with their passing. I think there's no doubt that they're going to try to air it out, but they've got to stay close to the sidelines and manage the clock.
2nd and 10 for the Aztecs. Ackerley takes the snap. Looking downfield, has to move out of the pocket, running downfield, and it looks like he'll go out of bounds for a couple-yard gain.
And usually he's able to I think he liked the receiver he had on that left side, and usually he's able to step up in the pocket, but in this case, it was crashing backwards on him to where he didn't have the space to step up and confidently make that throw.
And in that situation, the Broncos had 2 defensive backs to start that play, and it looks like they'll have 2 defensive backs, 2 safeties to protect the deep downfield pass. Ackerley does look for the pass downfield and just throws it away out of bounds, not having anything. And it looks like the Broncos are just finding a way to be able to just to limit those deep downfield passes that we saw help the Aztecs score that first touchdown.
Yeah, and he was looking for Jai Jones on that one and just couldn't quite get it. Jones ran the right route and he was in the right spot, but again, the pressure coming in from the opposite side just forced Ackerley's hand to where he had to scramble. And then at that point, it's all up to making something out of nothing as far as the plays are concerned.
4th and 5, and the Aztecs are going to punt the ball. 30 seconds left in the game in the first half. And it looks like there will be a timeout here for the Aztecs.
When you wonder kind of why they called that timeout, maybe Coach Barrow's reconsidering and thinking about going for it. You never know because he has done that before. But I see why he wanted to punt it away, because you don't want to give Brophy an offense who can and has worked quickly. I mean, gosh, literally 1 minute of play clock ago was when their drive started. And they were able to put another 7 on the board, and so you worry what they'd be able to do if they got the ball back in this situation with that field position.
Looks like they will stick with the punt. Whatever they decided in that timeout, looks like they will stick with the punt here. Malcolm Flynn out there for the punt. Cree Thomas for the punt return for the Broncos. 30 seconds left in the first half. We'll see if the Broncos try and play it aggressive here when they get the ball, or if they're going to just try and go into the first half with their lead. Flynn with the punt. Nice little spin, but it's going to be a fair catch. And the Broncos are going to come out on offense on their 26-yard line.
Well, I'll say this. Compared to a lot of teams we've seen here at Corona del Sol, the Broncos travel well with their fan base. They've got a fair amount of that opposite group of stands packed with their faithful fans, and they've done a great job. Meanwhile, over here on the Aztec side, it's just about as packed as it normally is, with the stands almost completely full. Everyone out here to support on Friday Night Lights.
McGinnis, quarterback, in there for the Broncos right now. 3 receivers to his right. Motions his running back over to his left-hand side. McGinnis looks to his right, looking downfield. Finds his receiver, who's brought down immediately by the defender, but that's going to get a first down. The Broncos have two timeouts left. They have plenty of time to be able to move downfield here.
And that was the perfect throw in the perfect spot. Sean Ketty was right on the receiver, but there just was nothing that could be done because the ball was placed so well and right onto the sideline. Now, Brophy calls one of their timeouts as they try to maybe cook something up with 15 seconds left. Try and get another score here to extend to their lead, because as a reminder, Corona del Sol does get the ball to start the second half.
That's a great point. It'll be a 1st and 10 when the timeout's over here for the Broncos. They're going to be on their own. They're going to be on their own 41-yard line. 1 timeout left for them, and 15 seconds left in the first half. You know, we've seen them utilize that run game. They're probably going to have to go heavily into their pass game here. We've seen that work for them so far, but it'll be interesting to see how this Aztecs defense does against a type of offense that they haven't utilized that much in this game in terms of passing.
Yeah, they're going to go widespread here with 2 receivers on each side.
McGinnis takes the snap, looks to his right, another quick pass over to his receiver, who finds his way out of bounds. He was moving in toward the field, made a quick juke to the outside, and was able to get out of bounds. 9 seconds left in the game, and the clock is stopped. Broncos now at the Aztecs' 44-yard line. And moving downfield rather quickly. These little, I want to say dink and dunk pass, because they're getting 10 yards pretty much on each play.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, widespread formation. McGinnis looks deep downfield over to his receiver, who gets the ball right into his body and out of bounds.
Wow. And talk about perfect timing. They have 1 second left, so I think Brophy calls the timeout either way to kind of talk about it and try to design the perfect play to get 7 more on the board as they lead 21-7, again with 1 second to go in the first half.
Going back to that pass real fast, that was just another situation where that ball was placed where the defender just couldn't do anything on that play.
No, the defender was right on the receiver there, but just like you said, perfectly placed ball, and it took him to the sideline as well. Can't draw it up. You can't make a play any better than that.
Connor Fury's going to be out here for the field goal. 22 attempts 8 of 9 attempts so far. He receives a snap, bobbled hold there, but it's still good. And the clock is no good. No good on that. And so with 1 second left, they went for the field goal, no score, and the Broncos are going to go into halftime with a 21-7 lead. We will hand it over to our fantastic halftime pre-programming. We'll be right back after that for the second half.
All right, everyone, let's take a look at some of the top plays from Week 6 of the NFL season.
Goff looking deep, wants it all. Jamison Williams looking for the ball. Got it! Touchdown! From the 7. Wilson going down the sideline for Garrett Wilson. Makes the adjustment and the grab. 3rd and 7. Blitz coming. Walker has it blocked. Lofting far sideline. Cooper. Oh, what a catch! Amari Cooper.
They're going on here today. A little matchup.
Fake to Hubbard. And it's outside on 1st and 10. Oh, look at him hurdle. What a play by Tremble, who got a touchdown last week. And play to a 3rd and 6. He's 12 of 16. Lamb the block. Go, he's got him. He's got Hill. And they've got a touchdown. Cornell, 1st and 10. Miami's ball. Mostert getting a block from Hill. He explodes and spins and drives. There he goes.
Falcons get the football back. A flag is down. Free play for Ritter. Going to take a shot for London. And London fighting for it. He's got it.
Pressure coming here. And the ball is out. It's still free. And the Vikings pick it up. Down the sideline. Goes Jordan Hicks. And Hicks is in for the scoop and score.
Position Kevin Stefanski wished to be in.
Not at all. Here's Walker. He has some time. Going to walk it up. Cooper's wide open. He's got it. Makes the move. Cooper, foot race. And he's taken down at the 25. Up top to Amari Cooper.
6.
Hurts facing a 4-man rush. Over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Adams. Adams on the run. Breaking tackles. Tossed down inside the 10. We welcome those of you who are watching Arizona and the Rams on 1st down into the end zone. Breece Hall.
Ritter on the slant. Intercepted.
2nd and 9. Smith in the pocket, hangs in there, throws it. Picked off. Lunging interception. Taylor grip. Brought down in Seattle territory.
With Carr. Touchdown Saints. Rashid Shaheed.
Back is Hubbard. Floating the block. In the end zone. Touchdown. Thielen.
Hello everyone, this is Kyle Cooper with Varsity Sports, and here are your Week 7 NFL picks. Starting off Thursday night, we have Jacksonville Jaguars at New Orleans Saints. The Jacksonville Jaguars have generated the most turnovers and most points off turnovers in the NFL. The Saints offense hasn't really clicked yet, despite having top talent on the team with Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed. Jacksonville has looked okay on offense, not as good as last season. Trevor Lawrence is a game-time decision in this game. If he plays, I think the Jaguars will scrape out the win, but if he doesn't, the Saints will win. Anyways, I do have the Saints winning this game 21-14 over the Jaguars, despite not knowing if Trevor Lawrence will play or not. In the second game, we had the Detroit Lions at Baltimore. The Ravens are the favorite to win this matchup. Lamar Jackson found his receivers last week, including Zay Flowers with his first NFL touchdown, but they have been very inconsistent. Can they keep it up in this one? The offense hasn't been high-flying and leaves a lot to be desired, especially that running game. The Lions will be without their bell cow running back David Montgomery. Jamar Gibbs could play for the Lions. The Lions are riding off the wave they had last year and are 5-1 on the season. They'll have to rely on their defense and wide receivers to pull out the win in this one without their running back. I have the Lions scraping out a win, 14-10. Then we have the Las Vegas Raiders at Chicago. The Bears will be without their star quarterback Justin Fields this week, and without one more win on the season. I think the Raiders will take the win here over the Chicago Bears. The Bears have been bad on both sides of the ball all season long. Despite not knowing who will start at quarterback for the Raiders, they will win 28-14 over the Bears. The Cleveland Browns will be at Indianapolis as they take on the Colts. The Browns could have the best defense in the NFL after they took down one of the best teams in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers, last week. The Colts quarterback Gardner Minshew had 4 turnovers last week, and they will face a very tough defense in the Cleveland Browns. And if PJ Walker starts at quarterback for the Browns, this could be a more difficult win to pull out, but I think they will pull it out 17-16 over the Colts. The Buffalo Bills will be at the New England Patriots, and the Bills have had a really shaky season, really inconsistent, and they have not been a convincing team all year. They almost lost to one of the worst teams in the league last week to the New York Giants, and they lost against Jacksonville Jaguars. Coach Sean McDermott, though, is 5-1 against Bill Belichick. The Patriots are super banged up with injuries and definitely less talented. I think Buffalo will easily win this game, 36-13. The Washington Commanders will be at New York and will be taking on the New York Giants. As I talked about with the Buffalo Bills, the Giants had one of their most promising games of the season for them. They almost took down one of the top teams in the NFL. The Commanders have given up an NFL high 34 sacks, but the Giants are right behind them with 33, and New York will be looking to add to that sack total. I think it'll be a defensive battle, an ugly game, but Sam Howell will somehow get it done and they'll pull out a win, 19-13 over the Giants. The Atlanta Falcons will be at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams have similar records, with Atlanta being at 3-3 and Tampa Bay at 3-2. Atlanta is ranked 4th best in passing yards allowed. They've looked pretty solid on defense this year. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers have kind of cooled down after their really hot start to the season. The Buccaneers will look to put a stop against Bijan Robinson, and I think they can do that. But can they control the other offensive threats that the Falcons possess? Desmond Ridder will continue to throw the ball well. He's picked it up in the last few games, and they will find a way to win 24-17 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be at the Los Angeles Rams. Both have defensive stars on their team with TJ Watt and Aaron Donald, but Rams have the better offense and have Cooper Kupp back, who looks to be back in top form this season. The Steelers have been averaging just 12.6 points per game on offense, and that will not be enough to get it done against the LA Rams. I have the LA Rams taking this one 31-13. The Green Bay Packers will be at the Denver Broncos. Jordan Love has looked worse actually of late, throwing 6 interceptions in the past 3 games. But no one has looked worse than the Broncos this season on both sides of the ball. The Broncos rank last in scoring defense and total defense, and I think the Packers have enough offense to overcome the Broncos. It could be a close game though, and they might have running back Aaron Jones back, and that would be huge for the Packers. Packers will win this one 24-21. The LA Chargers will be at Kansas City. The Chiefs are back home, and they've had 9 days to rest and prepare for this game, while the Chargers have only had 5 days of rest after their loss to the Cowboys. Justin Herbert really needs to step up his game. He did not look good against Dallas. And Kansas City is one of the best teams in the league, so I don't see them losing here. I don't think the Chargers are good enough to beat them, but it will be a back and forth game. Kansas City will win 34-31. And next we have the game of the week, Miami Dolphins at Philadelphia Eagles. Both are 5-1. Definitely tune into that one on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles are coming off an embarrassing loss against the New York Jets, and their offense let a lot to be desired. It looked like in their last game that they were off. They were not in sync with Jalen Hurts, the receivers, and there's some issues there on offense that they need to address. Miami is flying high after their one loss to the Bills, and they look really strong despite having some injuries at running back. I expect this to be a high-scoring game, back and forth. Dolphins will win this one 27-24. And for the last game of the week on Monday Night Football, we have the San Francisco 49ers at Minnesota. The 49ers looked actually human last week as they suffered their first loss of the season to the Cleveland Browns. They could also be without their stars Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel in this game. Kirk Cousins has a really bad record on Monday Night Football. He is 2-10 in these games. The Vikings will be without their star receiver Justin Jefferson, and they only managed to put up 220 total yards on offense without Jefferson against Chicago, so that is not good for them. I don't think the Vikings have enough to take down the mighty 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers will win this game 31-13. And that has been your rapid previews of NFL games this week and my picks. Hope you guys enjoyed and enjoy the second half of the games.
Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2times.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, Arizona sports fans. I'm Lofton Lechner, and I couldn't be happier to be joining the varsity sports team as a technical director for fall 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Lofton Lechner to stay locked in for the season.
Hi Varsity sports fans, this is Shai Gara. Make sure you stay tuned for our halftime where we break down different highlights from sports locally or otherwise, so plenty of entertainment and content coming your way if you stick around with us. What I personally think is cool about our halftime show is we cover different sports, maybe some you might not expect, and a variety of different content, of course, high school football, and maybe some professional stuff such as NFL highlights from the previous week.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Hi, my name is Eric Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Eco Roofing Solutions. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I'm the current president of the Arizona Roofing Contractors Association. Our mission is to provide the absolute best customer experience, and we operate all over the entire state of Arizona. We will come out and provide a courtesy, no obligation roof inspection to you, as well as an estimate within 24 hours. Our team is dedicated to providing the best quality product and workmanship, and we're here to serve you. You can call us at 480-695-7736 or check us out online at ecoroofaz.com. To learn more about us, you can find me on Instagram at YourBeardedRoofer or at Eco Roofing Solutions AZ. We are proud supporters of our community's youth and the next generation, and we would love for you to come and join the hashtag Eco family today.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Hey everyone, my name is Jason Goldie from the Varsity Sports Show. I love sports and fell in love with sports broadcasting back in high school. I can't wait to bring you my unique perspective because I am on the autism spectrum and sometimes I view things a little differently.
Hey listeners, it's Vince from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in this Saturday as we broadcast live from the Arizona State Fair. It's been at the same location since 1905, and this year, the Varsity Sports Show will be there too. We'll also give you a double shot of funny with Ask Lucas and Beachin' with Beal's Southern California Surf Report. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 8 to 10 on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Hello, friends. Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for allowing us into your lives every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. These are tough times globally. We see it just as you do. We recognize difficulty, and while our jobs as journalists is to report news, we choose positive, uplifting stories that can inspire you, make you think, make you smile. We thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Nemiroff, and I'll be joining the Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2023 semester. Sports has always been my passion, and I'm looking forward to working with the team. Check out my Twitter for a variety of sports content at Aaron2Tons.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, Arizona sports fans. I'm Lofton Lechner, and I couldn't be happier to be joining the Varsity Sports team as a technical director for fall 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Lofton Lechner to stay locked in for the season.
Hi Varsity sports fans, this is Shai Gara. Make sure you stay tuned for our halftime where we break down different highlights from sports locally or otherwise, so plenty of entertainment and content coming your way if you stick around with us. What I personally think is cool about our halftime show is we cover different sports, maybe some you might not expect, and a variety of different content, of course, high school football, and maybe some professional stuff such as NFL highlights from the previous week.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports broadcast of the Corona del Sol Aztecs versus the Brophy Broncos. We head into the second half with the Broncos leading 21-7. Should be an exciting second half for sure. I do want to mention before it's an early win for the Aztecs as they just announced the homecoming king and queen, and it was wide receiver Zuri Glenn who was just named the homecoming king. So an early win for the Aztecs so far. So
how about that?
Good omen for the second half, right?
Right. Zuri Glenn has been great on the field all season long, and now he's got it going with the homecoming court. Crew Swearingen as well, an honorable mention and part of the homecoming court. And then I also want to mention, if you don't mind, the spectacular halftime show we had from the Corona del Sol Band. I know they've been hard at work with their performance all year long, and they've been in a couple competitions. They have one tomorrow as well. So just all around a great atmosphere for high school football tonight. And we'll see in the second half, down 2 scores right now, if Corona del Sol can come back and give these fans some more to cheer about.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, we kind of talked about this in the first half, but we've seen the different approaches that these offenses have used. I think the biggest thing that we can say about the Broncos so far is how fast they have moved downfield and how they've done it, which is with their run game, which is, you don't see that a lot with teams being able to use their run game to quickly get downfield. It's been impressive so far, and they've mainly been doing it with their running backs, Charlie McGinnis and Carlos Estrada.
Right, on the flip side, I think that's kind of exposing the problems that we've seen with the Aztecs defense then so far, because they're not giving up tremendously large passing plays as they have at other points during the season, but that run game has really hurt him so far, and not too much, only considering they're down 2 scores, but that's really been what their Achilles heel so far in this one.
You know, the Broncos have had consistency offensively on every drive. They've been pretty much using that run game. On the flip side, the Aztecs, we've kind of seen them have to mix it up almost every drive. There was that first drive, they weren't able to get anything going. Then they were able to score with the long touchdown pass to Raiden Vinesbright. And then we kind of saw them try and do some new things with Swearingen and see if that worked. That led to a turnover. So it seems like I would say that in this first drive, find some consistency. See if you can go down and score and find what works early.
Yeah, well, I think we found what did work for them last time was targeting Raiden Vinesbright. I think that's obviously, if you have that opportunity, the number one option that you want to have. But I think Connor Ackerley needs to be able to feel comfortable with some of the more check down passes and just dumping it off here and there. We also saw that complement the Brophy run game really well in the first half. And so I think if he can get comfortable just getting the ball out quick when he feels the pressure and avoiding sacks, that's really going to help him out here in the second half.
For Connor Ackley, you know, one element, just like you said, is feeling comfortable, and that's also feeling comfortable in the pocket as well. And we've seen that pocket has broken apart throughout the game, and we've seen the Broncos early on will try and they'll have a guy kind of in the backfield, and then they'll send him right at the very last minute to pressure the offensive line. So we'll have to see if the Aztecs answer back some way, try and add some extra protection to give Ackerley time to throw that ball downfield, because it seems to me that he's been forced to kind of run around the pocket a little bit and try and find lanes to go down.
You mentioned answer back, and that I can't help but mention what's happening in downtown Phoenix. Don't want to harp on it too much because we are covering the game here, but the D-backs taking the lead there is just spectacular.
Yeah, for anybody who's tuning in but isn't able to tune in to obviously a really big playoff game happening for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is 6-5 at the top of the ninth for the D-backs. 1 out so far, so we'll see if they can pull it off. Best of luck to them as well. But you know, the Aztecs are looking ahead at this half and seeing, let's just try and get something on the board, because they're down 2 possessions. They're not out of it. They're in a great spot here to still be able to fight back and to score. So I think your goal here, obviously any goal of a drive, is to score a touchdown. But it's you try and come away with points, because this Broncos offense can definitely pounce here and make this a blowout quick.
Right, and I think that one thing that is emblematic of that whole thing, you've got to take it one play at a time. And we saw that pass that was just right out of the hands. I think it was Raiden Vinesbright that caught it and tried to get upfield, and he just couldn't hold on to it. And they're just really, excited about that. They're excited. They're fired up. They've just got to take it, relax, and take it one play at a time.
The second half is officially underway as the Broncos kick it off to the Aztecs. We saw another kind of trickery on that kickoff. I've never seen that before. Not sure what the purpose is or how that helps, but maybe just kind of throws the kick return off balance a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed to kind of catch him off guard there, as the kickoff catch was handled with a little bit of trouble and kind of dropped on the spot by the receiver.
Ackerley at quarterback shotgun. Nick Mustachia, running back, motioning, hands it off to Mustachia. Tries to get through that swarm of defensive linemen. No gain, though, for the Aztecs.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to rely much on their run game here in the second half as their primary source of yards. I think they're really going to have to just lock in on the pass game and do whatever they can to make that work. Brophy's been really good at loading the box here and just creating that pressure up the middle.
Again, we see them send some early pressure, sending pressure right now. Ackley under pressure he fumbles the ball, and the Broncos recover. We saw that pocket breakdown like we talked about earlier, and this time Ackley wasn't able to find a lane. Tried to find it, but ended up fumbling the ball when that defensive man got him.
Yeah, it's all about timing. I think Connor, he's struggled in this game where he hasn't been able to step up in the pocket as much as he has in previous games. And even on that one, he had a little bit of space to where he might have been able to get the ball off just in time. Instead, he tries to tuck it, get out of the pocket, and on the way out, loses control. And a big drive here for Brophy to kind of keep applying the pressure and add to their lead.
I believe that was Dominic Mitchell on that sack and fumble. But now the Broncos on offense in great field position. McGinnis at quarterback. Harrison Chambers at running back. He gets the ball, met at the line, brought back for a loss of yards, and that's what you need to see from the Aztecs defense. Is this run game has been able to go downfield for them, and if they can get behind that offensive line and get them behind the sticks, that's huge.
Yeah, it's big plays like that are really limiting what this Brophy team can do in the red zone, and we saw they missed the field goal at the end of the first half too, so that gets you a little worried if you're the Broncos and a little excited if you're the Aztecs.
Widespread for the Broncos. McGinnis keeps the ball, dumps it off to his receiver, who's met at the line again by the defense of the Aztecs.
A big hit there by Cambrell Walker. And we've seen him play with passion and intensity in the first half. He was called for that late hit on the other side of the field.
If you're head coach Jake Barr, you got to like how your defense has come out right now. Your offense turns the ball over, and even though the Broncos are in great field position, this defense is making sure they try and stop them from scoring. McGinnis takes the snaps, runs to his left, looking downfield. There's a defender who wraps around him. He runs around, able to get back up, and again, the Aztec defense connects and sacks the QB.
That is everything you could ask for from your defense in this field position, and then some. And you talk about the energy, the surge of energy that brings your team right there. And now they've got to try a challenging deep field goal that Holder will be set up at the 31-yard line from the left hash. And considering that they missed an easier field goal, you could argue earlier, we'll see how this one goes.
Fury's long is 46. He attempts the kick here. No good. His second missed field goal of the night. And a huge win for the Aztecs defense and the Aztecs offense, who had turned the ball over and no points come out of it. And Jake Barrow is fired up, high-fiving every single member who's coming off of that field right now.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think we saw the offense high-fiving the defense as they came off, and that's just, you've got to be able to translate and transmit that energy to the other side of the ball.
And I believe they just announced it here, but the D-backs did just win the game. So
wow.
The series is tied at 2 as they will continue to play at Chase Field here for Game 5. Aztecs on offense here, receiver motioning. Ackerley takes the low snap, bounces back, has to run. Right behind him, he is tackled and brought down by 2 defenders for the Broncos for a short gain.
And I still see a little bit of panic from him, I think, in that just he's stepping up in the pocket, but then he's taking off really quick. And I don't blame him for that, because maybe you haven't been able to trust that the line's going to hold up as good as you want it to or as long as you want it to. But I think, again, the quick pass game has got to come alive here for Corona del Sol.
I
with
agree.
The situation they're in.
They have Quentin Bradley in there right now, who we've seen is great in those spots. He does toss it over to Bradley, who is able to get just short, probably a couple yards short of the first down. But that is kind of what you were talking about, which is, try and limit those looking downfield to see if you can find those deep receivers and see if you can get those dump-off passes to work.
Right, and it's all about picking up, maybe some people don't like the way that this sort of system works, but it's all about picking up short yards here and there and then quick tempo up to the line. That's just exactly what Brophy's been doing on the other side with their run game. So it's kind of sort of just another short form of offense, but if it works, then don't shy away from it.
Jai Jones in motion. Ackerley takes the snap, looking downfield. He's now running. First down he gets as he's tackled out of bounds. Again, we kind of see him looking downfield and deciding to run, but in that case, there's a lane right there for you to take, and you get the first down, go for it. That was a 3rd and 3.
Absolutely, and those are the plays that you see him kind of be able to react and escape the pocket. And that's, I think, what he's been trying to do on all the plays where he's been feeling the pressure, but sometimes there's just nowhere to go with it. And so I think determining when he's got that lane versus when he can't, and he's got to either just hold on to the ball and make sure he doesn't fumble it or try to throw it away. That's the deciding factor there.
Ackley takes the low snap, hands it off to Bradley, who runs to his right and is tackled at the line of scrimmage. You know, that threat of Bradley, too, opens up those lanes a little bit. If Bradley, Mustachi's, like you said earlier, he's going to be a runner who's going to go straight down the middle, heads down. Bradley is a receiving threat and opens up those lanes that Ackley can probably run down if someone is occupying Bradley.
Yeah, it's all about confusing the defense and making them think and second guess themselves as much as possible in these situations.
3 receivers to Ackley's left. Signaling over to his receiver on his right. Broncos showing pressure. Nice protection from Bradley there, but the pass is tipped by the receiver, Jai Jones.
Boy, he lost his helmet on that one, I think.
Looked
It
like a
rolled
hard hit.
quite a ways. Oh, the Brophy player lost his helmet.
Kind of another situation. That was a more contested catch. There was a defender in the area, and that wasn't necessarily a drop pass. But we saw a wide receiver for the Aztecs in an open position and wasn't able to complete. 3rd and 9 for the Aztecs here. 2 receivers to his left and right. Ackley goes over to talk to Jones. Ackley takes the snap. Fake handoff to Bradley. Ackley running the ball. Slides, and I think it's going to be short of the first down. Just had a defender right on him and had to take that slide.
Oh, wow. They spotted him way shorter than I think they would have. I was going to say on a 4th and short, you go for it. I think Coach Barrow's still going to go for it here. I don't disagree with that play call. He's going to pull him off now. I think they should have spotted him a yard or 2 closer to the sticks. Because he slid pretty much close to the first down mark. But then again, I'm up here and I'm not down on the field, so I don't know.
I agree with you. It looks I know where they put it at is different than where he ends up at, but he definitely was further down when he started to slide. But either case, they're going to punt the ball here over to the Broncos.
But even in that situation, although it didn't end up where they wanted it, we had a false starter.
Still 4th down.
False start of some sort, I think, on the offensive line. But even though that play didn't end up the way they wanted it to, I think that play action game and opening that up a little bit more where he can fake the handoff and then he has more options that way is really important.
The punt high up in the air, takes the returner back a little bit at the 29-yard line, goes down the field, 40-yard line, tackled down at the just short of the 45-yard line for the Broncos, who will be relatively good field position on a nice return.
Well, it's kind of the opposite of what has happened a lot this year in that the defense has really been stepping up where the offense has just not been able to keep up for Corona del Sol.
You know, I think one reason, they decided to not go for it, not only it being relatively still midway through the third quarter, is because this defense proved that it can hold the Broncos off, and that ball looked like it was almost picked off from McGinnis. And the wide receiver is brought down for a short gain. Number 84 for the Broncos. Dalen Sharper.
Cameron Gus defensively got his hand up there, and I thought he almost got a hand on it, but not quite.
McGinnis with the quick pass. The wide receiver is able to get through 2 defenders, just shoulders them off for the first down, got some extra yardage on that, and is going to be at the 9-yard line of the Aztecs.
Well, that's just a great strategy right there because, again, we've harped on the short pass game being so effective, and when you can get the defenders to crash 2 or 3 of them right on you there, and all you got to do is break that one huddle, and there's no one in front of you.
We've seen that. Some great yards after catch for the Broncos on this, not this drive, but also this game as well. McGinnis hands it off. No, he keeps the ball on the fake handoff and is met by a defender and sacked.
Well, it fooled him around the line of scrimmage, but then the defenders on the far side able to pick up on it pretty quick.
We do see that this Broncos offense does stall out a little bit in the red zone. They have some great runners who can run up the middle and score. We saw that with Chambers earlier in the game. But the last few drives, the Aztecs have been able to kind of stall them out. We'll see if they can do it here. McGinnis in the quarterback shotgun formation. Estrada as the running back. Estrada takes the ball, tries to find a hole, and he bulldozes almost right to the goal line. Met by a defender, but there is a flag.
I wonder if they're going to get him for another face mask.
We'll see what our head ref has to say. But again, we saw that whatever the call is at the end of that play, we saw that Estrada was able to just find a hole and use that versatility of his speed and his quickness to find a lane. And
personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
Broncos were lining up during the referee's call, getting set and ready for what will probably be a QB sneak. We saw them score this earlier. He does get in. It's not necessarily a QB sneak. He makes a quick run to his right, scores, and the Broncos are going to go up 2 possessions here. 3 possessions, my apologies.
That one wasn't as sneaky as what we've seen before, where he didn't just jump on top of the pile. I think that probably was the play design, but he saw an opening on the right side and said, well, make it a little easier on myself.
That was kind of the anti-tush-push that we've seen in the NFL. You just see if you can do it by moving around the defensive line.
Well, one thing I learned last week as we await the extra point attempt, which is good, is actually assisting the runner is illegal in high school football, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no tush-push here, but all right, it is 28-7 Broncos. We will head to a commercial break right now.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
My name is Kyle Krikorian, and I'm a sophomore studying journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am thrilled to join the Varsity Media Foundation as a technical director following Horizon High School football this fall. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kyle Krikorian.
We are back here where the Brophy Broncos lead 28-7 over the Corona del Sol Aztecs. 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in this third quarter. Moving along nicely. We'll see if the Aztecs can answer back. This is a position that unfortunately we have seen them be in quite a lot this season. Again, the Broncos go for this kind of trickery on this kick. Doesn't really confuse the Aztecs. He does knock into his own blocker there. But they'll be at the 35-yard line, their own 35-yard line.
I think that's just kind of symbolic from what we've seen later as this game kind of unfolds with the Aztecs. A play that looked like, it could have been really good right there, and then, there's just one thing that goes wrong. He ran into his defender on that one and just couldn't go the right way.
And the reason I say that the Aztecs have been in this situation quite a bit isn't to demean the Aztecs or any way, but this is because sometimes when you get put in the situation and you don't have experience, it can be new. They're not going to be in that situation. They're going to have known how to handle these moments.
Right.
Ackley takes a snap, moves to his left, bounces off a defender trying to fight him off. He does, throws it down to the first yard line stick, but it's just out of bounds. But good job on Ackerley to just bounce off that defender and keep the play alive.
That's an incredible job by an athletic quarterback right there. And that was a play where, he was back near the 15-yard line, and he was just lucky enough that he could get it all the way to go out of bounds. And the pass wasn't intercepted. He was able to break the tackle and throw it away and not get the Aztecs any deeper into their own territory.
Like I said earlier, Ackerley leads the team in rushing with 202 yards heading into this game. Very versatile on the run. Quick pass behind to his running back. I believe that was Mustachia. who's tackled at the line of scrimmage, didn't really confuse the defense there.
Well, this is really a frustrating situation because the defense has been very, very solid tonight in pretty much every phase of the game, except for they weren't able to get the stop on the red zone last time, which you can only get so many of those stops. And on the other hand, the offense just hasn't looked the same as what we'd seen even in the bright spots earlier on in this season.
Ackerley takes the snap, third and 13 on this play, tosses it downfield. It's a catch for a first down.
The homecoming king.
The homecoming king is trying to get the Aztecs going again, get them going downfield. What a great catch. We saw that with the Broncos, a nice catch that was right into the hands of their receiver. Same thing for Ackerley here, right into the hands of Glenn.
Well, it's just a splash of how talented this wide receiver core is when they can do what they want to do.
Mustacha gets a nice hole to his left, runs for probably just short of the first down, if not the first down, and it is out of bounds. Couldn't really see. It looks like it will be an Aztecs first down.
Yeah, and that's just building one play after another, building the momentum, using the energy from the last play to push forward. And we saw the guys on the defense, specifically I think it was Canberra Walker, really hyping up Zuri Glenn after that catch, and that's what the support on the sidelines is pivotal, crucial.
Vinesbury at the top of the screen. Ackerley tries to find a hole up the middle, but is brought down and sacked. Looked like that might have been a designed run. It was pretty quick that he went for that run, but the defensive line was able to just wrap him up, and there was nowhere to go.
Going to bring him back quite a bit. 2nd and 15 for the next play.
I just got to go back to that Zuri Glenn catch. That was such a way to awaken this offense, and show them what they have. Widespread for the offense for the Aztecs. Play action, but Ackerley is met behind the line of scrimmage for a huge loss of yards and a sack. And it seems like that defense for the Broncos is just not getting fooled on these play actions or fake handoffs.
Not by much. When they send that extra pressure, it's almost as if you worry about giving up too much on the back end with the receivers, but their pressure is able to get through the line so quick they don't have to worry about the ball even coming out to those receivers.
3rd and 25 for the Aztecs at their own 42. First down at the 18. Ackerley drops back, tries to get to the receiver in the middle of the field, doesn't connect, flag. We'll see what the call is. And that was to Cruz Swearingen, who we saw earlier in the QB position.
Holding. Defense. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Still 3rd down for the Aztecs, but a huge way to move downfield. Didn't connect with Swearingen, but that penalty is going to help them out a lot. It's going to be not going to be a 3rd and 10 as the board says. Might be a little bit farther back than
maybe 15.
Yeah, 3rd and 15 looks to be what the call is. 3rd and 15 for the Aztecs. Widespread. Ackerley in shotgun. Ackerley has 2 defenders on him, kind of wrapped around the head there, brought down for another sack and a loss of yards.
Yeah, Nick Mustacci is trying to help him out there and block, but they just send the pressure on the opposite side. And when that pressure comes from his blind side, he just can't even anticipate it nearly as much.
But it does look like there's another flag on here. We'll see what the call is here as well. If this goes the Aztecs' way, that would be 2 straight penalties on the Broncos defense. But they're still conversing here, the 2 refs. But going off of what your point, that's exactly what the Broncos are doing, is they're just sending an extra defensive linebacker on the opposite side of where Ackerley is going. And when Ackerley settles, right there a defensive player is. Here's the call.
We have 2 live ball penalties. I have a personal foul, 92 white. I have a personal foul, 55 black. Those penalties will offset Replay third down.
So it will stay third down. Want to say on his players that was, I'm not sure exactly what numbers it was. I believe it was Mardell Rowe was one of the players for the Broncos who was in on that penalty. We'll see what it was for the Aztecs if I can go back and look. Ackerley takes the ball, a deep pass downfield. Defender was right in the body of the receiver, and there looks to be a flag.
Swearingen seems to think it might be an offensive pass interference, but
Are we more than 15?
I can't. A lot of fans in here looking for a PI on that. The defender was right in the receiver's body, but
Pass interference.
didn't get who that was, what the number was on that, but it was a pass interference on the Broncos.
and that's, I mean, what a difference a couple penalties, a couple plays can make. Now they've got 1st and 10 on this drive that was almost certain to go dead.
Ackerley hands it off to Mustachia, who's met at the line of scrimmage, and we've seen the Broncos really, penalties have really been hurting them on this drive. We haven't seen that in the game so far. 2nd and 10 for the Aztecs, 45 seconds running clock.
Well, and there's no pressure here as far as the clock is concerned, but I would rather, if I was Coach Barrow, really take your time and make every play on this drive as intentional as you can. You just need all the points you can get.
Here they do. They go trying for the screen pass, give it off to Vinesbright. Try and use his versatility and speed. He is able to get some yards at the 5-yard line is where he's brought down.
Yeah, I don't know if that pass was actually intended for Raiden Vinesbright or if it was for Jai Jones, but either way, Raiden kind of jumped up and caught it. Either that was behind where it was supposed to be for him, or he just thought maybe it wouldn't get caught, and he just tried his best to make a play out of it, and he did.
And that is going to wrap up the third quarter. We go into the fourth quarter with the Aztecs down 28-7. We will be right back after this commercial break.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game recaps every single Friday night, wrapped up all into one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame. I'm your host, Kyle Cooper, and I will see you Friday night.
Hey listeners, it's Vince from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in this Saturday as we broadcast live from the Arizona State Fair. It's been at the same location since 1905, and this year, the Varsity Sports Show will be there too. We'll also give you a double shot of funny with Ask Lucas and Beachin' with Beal's Southern California Surf Report. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 8 to 10 on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
Trail 28-7 to the Brophy Broncos, and they're going to set up this beginning of the fourth quarter on their own, on the Broncos 5-yard line, 1st and goal. And it's going to be Swearingen at quarterback. We saw this earlier. They don't usually like to pass with him, so I'm interested to see if they pass here. He does. He takes the ball. He does run with it. He's able to get around the defense, and looks like he tried to get over the goalpost. Score. Touchdown for the Aztecs.
That was a great play design. They lined up trips to the right, had Quentin Bradley motion out of the backfield, so you wonder, okay, you got to, keep your guys on this side for the defense in case they try to dump a quick pass off, and then Swearingen with just a phenomenal athletic play dove for the pylon and got it.
And you see why they used him so fast. He got around that defense very, very quickly. And so now they will go for the point after attempt. Malcolm Flynn preparing for the hold. Low snap, but right down the middle, and it's good. Aztecs now trail 14-28 with 11 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We'll keep it here. That, for the Aztecs, is a huge, huge win in being able to just get on the board.
It's tremendous. Yeah, that's exactly what you need. And with the game going the way it was, you've got to be able, we've seen the defense's ability to get stops, and you just got to ask for another one right here.
And when in this half, when the Broncos have scored, it hasn't been on these long drives which on the first half. It was due to turnovers from the Aztecs and where they were in very, very good field position within their own 20-yard line. So if you're this defense, if you're the Aztecs defense, you have to look at this and say, we have the upper hand right now in terms of the long drives and being able to stop them.
Right, and it's going to boil down to how the clock is managed. It's been a very fast game so far, and so you've got to get stops quickly, but at the same time limit the explosive plays that Brophy can come out with.
Aztecs kick it off. Line drive kick. And it'll be a touchback, and they'll get at their own 25-yard line. It's 11 minutes and 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Broncos like to run the ball already. Are you someone with the lead you have right now that likes to start running that clock and use the clock against the defense, or you still go full go here?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think you continue with the run game, and you see the way it worked in the first half, and you hope that maybe you can replicate some of that here in the fourth quarter. But either way, you go, I think you run it first and second down, and then if you're still pretty deep, then try to air it out on third down. If not, you punt it away, and you've shaved a bunch of time off the clock.
McGinnis at quarterback. McGinnis at quarterback. Shotgun position. Hands it off to his running back, Chambers. Gets off one defender, keeps running, and is going to get the first down, it looks like. And this running offense for the Broncos has just been superb, and that's going to help definitely in this fourth quarter where time is going to be against the Aztecs.
Yeah, it's really dangerous because it's not maybe the most exciting form of play calling, but it works.
Another handoff to Chambers, who goes to his right, finds another hole, and is brought down. And it looks like these holes are just huge. It's hard for me to see from this position, but the way that he's getting through the defensive and offensive line just seems like there's ginormous holes for him.
Yeah, it makes it look so easy, right? Now you set yourself up, like I said, that first down run, and now you've got a 2nd and 6. You can kind of work with it either way here, really. Run it one more time if you want to.
McGinnis takes the ball, gets it off to Chambers, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage.
Big stop there by the Aztecs defense. Push them back to their original 10-yard set on this drive here, and see if you can get that third down stop.
And we're not
get the ball back.
We're not really seeing the pressure that the Broncos defense is able to get. We're not seeing that with the Aztecs, but what they are able to do is they're able to meet receivers right where they catch the ball.
Right. And when you can do that, especially now when they're making these little screen passes here and there to kind of try and manage the clock and slowly move downfield, if you can get to him quick, there's nothing better than that.
Quick pass from McGinnis. Receiver bounces off a defender and is going to get the first down. We talked about yards after catch for these receivers, but another thing that the Broncos receivers have done well, and their running backs, is just not going down after contact.
Right, and we just talked about on that last play how Corona del Sol had been really good to swarming to the receiver once he caught the ball, and on that one, he was just able to power right through it and keep on his feet.
And I don't think that was intentional at the beginning of that. It kind of looked like the Chambers went the wrong way of where that fake was meant to be. So I don't know if that was intentional. I don't think so. 3 receivers to McGinnis' left. Looks to his left as well. Quick pass over to his receiver. And a gain of about 6 yards.
Well, when you look at the way the quarterback was set up, a phenomenal throw, considering that he was rolling away from his opposite side, threw it off balance, and it was a perfect throw right to where he wanted it.
Yeah, it looked like he was just on his left leg when he threw that. And it doesn't look far when you're looking at your screen, but it's a distance to make that throw accurately. 3 receivers to his right. McGinnis takes the high snap. Quick pass over to his receiver, gets the first down, still running, runs into an Aztecs defender, and is brought down. But it will be another 1st and 10 for this Broncos offense, who is moving. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And that's the key thing. I mean, at the beginning of their drive, I think we were around the 11-minute mark or close to it, and they've already just taken so much time off the clock here. Really haven't moved upfield that much, maybe 20, 30 yards, but they're so good at managing the clock.
3 receiver bunch to McGinnis to his right. Fakes the handoff and is able to get a good amount of yards as he runs to his right and out of bounds. And we're just seeing this Broncos offense just methodically go downfield, but take time off the clock. They set up again, 3 receiver bunch to McGinnis' right. McGinnis takes the snap. Another fake handoff. Deep pass downfield to his receiver. And just out of reach.
Well, it's funny because when he's making these throws, and that was a great throw, just not able to hold on to it, it didn't look like he really wanted to throw it that far down the field. That was, I think, his 3rd read or so. And so they really are looking at strategically using the short passing game first. And then, okay, well, nobody's open, but there is a guy one-on-one downfield. Let's see if we can get it there.
And he had distance on his defender, just was not, the pass was just a little bit out of his reach. Good energy coming from the Aztecs marching band, getting pumped up here. Handoff to Chambers, go back to the run game here, and the Aztecs swarm around him and bring him down. It's going to be a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, you need a couple more of those explosive plays and maybe a tackle for loss. I mean, you got a 3rd and 7, as you just mentioned. You need one more of those. If you can get it in the backfield, that's great, but you've got to get a stop here to get your offense fired up.
4th and 7 for the Broncos. Pivotal play here for the Aztecs. Got to get them off the field and get your offense so you can go down the field and score and get this to a 1-possession game. And it looks like there will be a timeout here. Timeout. Broncos.
That's pure clock management right there. I think that's what it boils down to, is because they want to take as much time off the clock in these plays as they can. They really didn't have a reason to call a timeout unless they were rethinking whether or not they wanted to go for it. But at this point in the game, I mean, you're up 2 scores. It doesn't seem like that's the situation where you're really that worried about it, I guess.
And the defense has done a good job relatively of being able to stop this Aztecs offense. And so if you don't get it here, there's a good chance they're going to be able to have, going off with how this game has gone so far, be able to stump them. But we'll see what they go here with. They are keeping McGinnis. Chambers is their running back. 3 receivers to his right. Huge moment for the Aztecs to try and get the Broncos off the field and get their offense on the field. Chambers to the right of McGinnis. Looks, Aztecs are saying false start.
Dead ball. False start. 76 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And they don't pull the quarterback off. He's still there.
That was on Alejandro Acuna for the Broncos. McGinnis does a punt. And that ball is rolling still.
Oh.
They knock it back. I think that's going to be at the 3-yard line of the Aztecs. The Broncos did a great job of just running with that ball that was just dribbling downfield. And they have that ball at the 1-yard line.
Well, and that's just extremely deceptive right there, because nobody was ready for that punt on the Aztecs defense, because I didn't expect it. I mean, you look down there and, okay, they're just going to go for it on 4th down. And instead, the real big heads-up play on that was at the goal line by the Broncos.
Oh, totally.
To be able to keep that in and keep it from getting to a touchback,
I would love to have seen just a close-up of that to see how close that was, because it looked like it was just millimeters away from going into the end zone.
And they spot him at the goal line or at the 1 yard line.
1 yard line for the Aztecs. 3 receivers to his right for Ackerley. Takes the snap. Quick pass to his receiver, who's kneeling at the catch, is able to complete it for a gain and get them out of a little bit out of their own end zone.
Yeah, Dominic Ruiz, the first time he's been targeted tonight. They're just trying a bunch of different things, get some new guys in there, some fresh legs, and try to take off with it, because that's what you got to do. You have to be explosive on both sides of the ball here if you're Corona del Sol. 7 minutes and counting.
Handed off to the running back. Finds a lane to his right. Brought down. Looks to me like that'll be a first down. And they are moving the stick. So the Aztecs moving here early in this drive out of their own end zone. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. It's a running clock right now. Clock is running. Ackerley takes the snap. Fighting off pressure, just has to try to throw it away, but it looked like that could have been picked. But there is a flag.
Ruiz is looking a little banged up there. Not sure which side got the flag. It was kind of unclear because both guys were fighting for the ball there. Oh.
I don't know if anyone saw that on screen, but they tried to throw the ball back into play, and it bounced off the head of a Brophy Broncos defender. That was a hard just toss.
Yeah.
That would have hurt me.
Got some good helmets down there,
yeah,
I guess, right?
Great helmets. There was a flag on the call. It looks like they're still conversing over what it was, but it looks like the call is going to come here pretty soon.
Pass interference. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Pass interference on the Aztecs on that play, and that's going to push them back and make it 1st and 18.
Yeah, I think Ruiz was just trying to break up the pass there.
3 receivers to Ackerley's left. Looks to his left, looks downfield. Quick dump off pass over to his receiver. Finds some yardage, finds some green, and gets the first down. Just like that, gets out of it. 1st and 10 for the Aztecs.
Yeah, that was a really good play by Quentin Bradley, and for that matter, a really good play for Ackerley too, because I think he was trying to he was getting ready to throw it away and instinctually saw Bradley there on the side and was able to complete the pass.
Broncos bring pressure. Ackerley moves up in the pocket, trying to find a lane to run. Quick pass over, and that was dangerous. Almost picked off by the Broncos defender. Cree Thomas, defensive back. He was right on that pass.
Yeah, and the tough thing was there was one guy in the area. The other receiver, I think it was Vinesbright on that left side, was far downfield. So you got a one-on-one matchup with Zuri Glenn. And the defender, as a defender, you can follow the quarterback's eyes as he kind of comes out and rolls left. And there's really only one option he has to throw it, so you can kind of get right in front of that pass.
3rd and 2 for the Aztecs. Hands it off to Bradley. Bradley gets around the line, tries to just force his legs over to the first down. It was a 3rd and 2. We'll see if he got it. I think he might be short. Looks like they are moving the sticks. It'll be a first down for the Aztecs.
Well, how about that?
Just did a great job at the end. He had defenders on him and just kept moving those legs. The one thing I'll say, 5 minutes, 48 seconds. This scoring here will not tie the game.
Yeah, that's big. But they do have 3 timeouts, so use them sparingly. Use them when you need to. But they've been doing a good job getting out of their own end zone so far.
Deep pass downfield to Swearingen. Had it in his hands, and it falls out of his hands. Just bobbled it a little bit. Deep pass, and just right there for him.
And that might have been the first play that I have seen Connor Ackerley be able to comfortably step up into the pocket and fire that throw downfield. That's what we've seen from him most of this year on those sorts of plays, but he just has not had the ability to step up and fire the ball like that much in this game.
Dominic Mitchell was the defender on that. Ackerley looks to his right. Quick pass over to Swearingen again, and he's brought down quickly. It is going to be a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, he tries to make up for it, and he does there with the catch, but just not enough room to create space and get upfield.
It just looks like it's taking some time to get these calls into Ackerley. 2 receivers to Ackerley's left. Bradley right behind him, shotgun position. Ackerley takes the snap, drops back, looking downfield, has a running back right in front of him, tosses it, tipped at the line, but just brought down just short of the receiver.
I think he was really eyeballing Raiden Vinesbright downfield. I think that's really where he wanted to go with the ball, but he just couldn't get set enough to make a throw that far, and so he had to kind of settle for the shorter pass. And
it's one of those tough positions where it's like, do I just run and see what I can
Right.
get or run? But it's going to be a pivotal 4th and 6 for the Aztecs. 2 receivers to his left and his right. Ackerley looks downfield, tries to juke out a defender, trying to find open space, goes back downfield, tries to juke, finds a receiver downfield, but it's intercepted by the Broncos. Intercepted by the Broncos defender, a name that we've been calling a lot, Cree Thomas, with the interception, and the Broncos offense is going to come back on the field, and another turnover for the Aztecs offense.
yeah, and I was going to say before that play even started that play could have made the game right there, and that very well may have, just because of how much time Brophy continues to grind off the clock on each of their possessions. But again, here we go. We just needed one explosive play from the defense, an interception, a deep sack, something like that.
McGinnis takes the snap, brought down, slides, and is taken down by a defender at the very tail end there.
I think Jamar Patterson got the tackle on that one.
Going back to that turnover, Ackerley did a great job of just trying to scramble and find something going, and it's a testament to that Broncos defense, which was just plastered to receivers that entire time. Usually when a quarterback has the ball that long, something opens up, but nothing there for the Aztecs, and Ackerley had to force it into his receiver. McGinnis with a quick pass. They're not trying to run the clock out here. Quick pass to his receiver. It's a 1st down. 4 minutes left. With the run game the Broncos have, you could see them just try and just see what they can do with their run, just run it down the middle. But they're going to try and go downfield here and see what they can do.
Yeah, I think maybe they got a little scared with what the Aztecs were able to do and kind of stick in it on that last drive for probably longer than they thought they would. And they thought, oh, let's go try to put this thing away.
28-14 Broncos. 3 minutes and 42 seconds on this clock that is going. It's running. 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Handoff to the running back. Just got fumble. The Aztecs have the ball going downfield, not being brought down, still going. 6 Broncos defenders seem to have tried to brought the defender down, but they couldn't. And it looks like the Aztecs are going to get the ball.
That was just, I'm speechless after that. A phenomenal play by Cambrell Walker after a run that we thought might have, I thought, I don't know if there's going to be a defender to catch this guy. He might run into the end zone. And just a little bit of traffic, everyone kind of swarmed all together, creating a whole bunch of commotion. And just like that, the Aztecs have the ball on their own 44 with 3.5 minutes to go. 3:23.
And you possibly maybe have the Broncos defense a little just off guard. Quick pass downfield to Vinesbright. Caught. It's a catch. It's a catch.
Oh my goodness.
At the 18-yard line, Ackerley with the quick snap looks downfield to Vinesbright, who has just had one defender on him. Diving catch at the ground, and it is a catch. And the Aztecs are moving here.
That is the play right there that defines what this Aztec offense can be at its finest. Deep passing and their number one receiver right there, and they're going to look to go to him again.
Broncos had an extra man on the line there, brought pressure early, and were able to connect and sack Ackerley there. Ackerley was looking downfield again. It's one of their first reads it seems they go through is that deep pass.
Yeah, no, and he looked right over on this near sideline at Raiden Vinesbright. I think that's his number one target after that big play.
Vinesbright bottom of the screen, Ackley looks down at Vines Bright, but that's actually caught by Swearingen. They're moving. They're 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. Third down for them. The Aztecs have to score here. 3rd and 5. They can get a first down here without scoring. Swearingen motions. Ackley looks right at Vines Bright, and that ball is just deflected.
Boy, threaded the needle almost perfectly, and that would have been just a really, really great catch if he was able to make it. But there's not much you can do about that when he's between two receivers like that.
And I think did a great job of, like you said, threading the needle, and I think it was deflected right at the line. And it looks like it'll be a timeout. Well, however this game ends, I know you're heading down for your sideline interview here pretty soon. But however this game ends, it was very exciting. Thank you so much. You're usually in the play-by-play role, and I'm usually, once I did the color analyst role, but it was an honor being next to you and commentating with you. Thank you so much for being with me.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. It's been a fun night, and we'll see, if the Aztecs can make it close here. It's looking good so far.
Absolutely. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game, 28-14. Broncos, 4th and 5. And just another reminder, Jake Barrow will do a post-game wrap-up on the Varsity Sports Show, which is on KDUS AM 1060 from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Jake Barrow usually does his segment around 9:30 a.m., so feel free to tune in. 4th and 5 for the Aztecs. Connor Ackley looks to his right. Quick pass over to Vines Bright. Vines Bright knocks off the defender. And that might just be short of the line. Vines Bright tried to get some extra yardage. They're calling it a first down. 1st and goal. They're on their own 7. 1 minute, 55 seconds left. Clock is running. Hands it off to Mustachia, who goes down and scores! Scores! Just followed his blocker and scored the touchdown. With a successful PAT attempt here, it'll be a 1-possession game for the Aztecs, who have 2 timeouts. Nick Mustachia just was able to follow his blocker and score. That'll be his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. The kick, and it's good. 21-28. Broncos, Aztecs. See what they do here at the kick. But the Aztecs are trying their hardest to fight back and even this score up. Terrific job on that offensive line to be able to get Mustachia into the end zone. And the play that really set that up was Raiden Vines Bright, who was able to just bounce off his defender, stiff arm him, get a few extra yards, because if he got tackled where he caught it, it would have been a turnover on downs. Crowd getting into it, getting pumped up. Aztecs get ready. Onside kick. Recovered by the Aztecs. Looks like the Aztecs, they're signaling. I don't see a flag on the play. Corona recovered the ball, but the Aztecs defense is coming out. There was no penalty on the play, but it most likely did not go long enough to be considered recoverable by the Aztecs kick return team, special teams team. 1 minute, 48 seconds. Aztecs trail by a touchdown, have 2 timeouts. Chambers, the running back, Chambers takes the ball, finds an open lane, and gets the first down on the first drive.
Chambers with the run, and that's good for the Broncos. First down.
First down, 1st and 10 for the Broncos. 1 minute, 39 seconds left. Clock is running. Aztecs have 2 timeouts. Aztecs did recover a fumble on the previous Broncos drive from Carlos Estrada. Still, the clock is running. 1 minute, 15 seconds. Aztecs have 2 timeouts. Another run from Chambers, and he is met at the line by Isaiah McKay of the Aztecs. Timeout, Aztecs. 1 timeout left for them, and it will be a 2nd and 13 for the Broncos when we come back from the timeout. Huge stop on that for the Aztecs to be able to get that. Huge stop for the Aztecs to be able to get that stop and send him get negative yards on that play. 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the game. Aztecs down a touchdown. Will have to stop the Broncos here for sure. The Broncos have done a good job of finding open holes in their run game. We'll see what the Aztecs do here to see if they try and load the box to stop that run. Two receivers to McGinnis's left. Shotgun formation, Chambers. Chambers as the running back, motions his receiver over to his left. Hands off to Chambers and met by 2 Aztecs defenders who bring him down. He was tackled at be about a 2nd and 10 for them, maybe 2nd and 11. 3rd and 11, I'm sorry. 3rd and 11 for the Broncos as the Aztecs take their 3rd and final timeout. And we'll see what they can do here. It'll be 3rd and 12 for the Broncos. No timeouts for the Aztecs. So if the Broncos do end up not getting a first down, the clock will run, and the Aztecs will have limited time. But we have seen that the Aztecs have great, deep downfield attackers with the receivers, Zuri, Glenn, Raiden, Vinesbright. But it's a big stop here for the Aztecs defense in being able to get the offense on the field and a chance to score. The Broncos offense coming onto the field. Chambers is the running back. McGinnis motions his receiver over to the left. McGinnis takes the snap, hands. No, it's not. McGinnis threw it down. The Aztecs have the ball. He's running downfield. The defender's running downfield. But they're calling it an incomplete pass. The Aztecs defender gathered the ball thinking it was a fumble, ran down for a touchdown, but the refs are calling it incomplete. No matter what, the good news is if that is incomplete, it stops the clock. Just a refresher on that play, the McGinnis did not hand it off. It was a fake handoff. Was met almost instantly by an Aztecs defender. Looked like a possible fumble, but the refs are calling it an incomplete pass. He threw it away. Threw it at the ground. And it'll now be a 4th and 12 for the Broncos. 51 seconds. Good news for the Aztecs. The time is stopped. So the Aztecs will get the ball with a good amount of time left. Enough time for a couple plays and some deep downfield passes, which honestly is one of the Aztecs' strengths. Cambrel Walker for the Aztecs is the punt returner. Connor Fury, the punter for the Broncos. He takes the snap, punts it. Nice twirling punt. Oh, and he gets the ball, but is met by a defender right away. I don't think he did called a fair catch at all, but risky play to try and get that ball in. But either way, the Aztecs will get the ball. 42 seconds left in the game. They'll have the ball at their own. Looks like there was a penalty called on that, actually. They did call a penalty there, and that will get the Aztecs a few more yards. They'll be at their 25-yard line, down a touchdown, 42 seconds left, no timeouts. Ackerley takes a snap, runs to his right, throws it to Swearingen, who gets the ball and is out of bounds. Gets the ball out of bounds, stops the clock. Great decision there to just go for a small pass, get them downfield, and the out-of-bounds play. Aztecs with a chance to tie the game if they can score on this drive. Aztecs takes a snap, runs to his left, downfield! Intended for Jai Jones, but it's just out of his reach and out of bounds. Time stops at 33 seconds, 21-28. Broncos, 2nd and 10.
Pick up the quarterback. Going to the sideline.
Ackley heads over to the sideline to talk with head coach Jake Barrow. Back with his team now. Ackerley hands it off to Swearingen. Swearingen passes it back off to Ackerley, but Ackerley cannot catch the ball. A little bit of trickery on that. Handed it off to Ackerley, handed off to Swearingen, my apologies. Swearingen then threw it back to Ackerley, but Ackerley was not able to hold on to the ball. It'll now be 3rd and 10, 27 seconds left. Ackerley takes the snap. Downfield over to Raiden Vinesbright, who's able to get it, grab the ball. Clock will run. Clock is running on that reception. It's going to be 4th and short. 22 seconds left. They got to get the snap here. Got to get it going. Ackerley takes a snap, looks down to Vinesbright. Trying to find, just overthrows Swearingen. It looks like they gave them a first down on Vinesbright's Vinesbright's reception previously before that. 15 seconds left in the game. Vinesbright had caught a reception before that. It looked like he was going to be short of the first down, but it looked like they ended up giving it to him. So on that play that just happened with the overthrow to Swearingen, that was 1st and 10. 2nd and 10 now for the Aztecs. No team now has any timeouts. We've seen already in this game a huge, long touchdown reception from Ackerley to Raiden Vinesbright. Vinesbright did not play in last week's game, back for this week's game. And he is going to be a main target they're going to be looking forward downfield, along with Zuri Glenn. Jai Jones also on the field as a receiver, along with Swearingen. Quentin Bradley at running back. And Connor Ackerley is in shotgun position, looks over at the defense, which has multiple defenders protecting the deep pass. Ackerley goes back, Quick pass over to Quentin Bradley. Quick reception for the first down, and they are now in Broncos territory. 11 seconds left. Aztecs down a touchdown. The Broncos defense is not prevent, I would say, but they have 5 defensive backs protecting that goal line. Quick pass over to Vines Bright. That was a line to Vines Bright. First, maybe just short of the first down, possibly. 2nd and 1. 2nd and 2 possibly, but that is out of bounds again, and the Aztecs are finding ways to move downfield, get closer, make it a more reasonable downfield pass for Ackerley, but they're doing it with stopping the time by running out of bounds. 7 seconds left in the game, 2nd and 1. Ackerley takes the snap, looks downfield, 5 seconds left, deep. Passes it down to his receiver, who is on the out of bounds, but just out of Swearingen's reach. 3 seconds left in the game. Ackerley will most likely have to be looking for the end zone here. The Broncos have 5 defenders at the 10-yard line. Ackerley receiving signals from his offensive coordinator. 5 wide receivers. Ackerley takes the snap. Pressure. He's got a defender right on him. Ackerley tripped up. Ackerley moving to his left, looking downfield. Heaves a pass. And it is going to be caught, but out of bounds. And that is going to be the game. A valiant effort from Ackerley to escape the defender, to scramble, to look downfield and look for a receiver in the end zone. And there was one. Unfortunately, the receiver caught the ball and it was out of bounds. A valiant effort from the Aztecs, who had tried their best to make a comeback. And that is going to do it for this broadcast. Thank you all so much for listening here at the Varsity Sports Show broadcast. The Brophy Broncos defeated the Corona del Sol Aztecs 28-21. Thank you so much for joining us in this broadcast showcasing the Corona del Sol Aztecs against the Brophy College Prep Broncos. For myself, Aaron Decker, my partner, Paul Schultz, and our fantastic broadcast crew, Bailey Leisure, our technical director, Jason Goldie, Freddie, and Chris with our cameras. Thank you so much for the fantastic coverage. For you all out listening, I hope you have a great night, and we will see you next week when the Aztecs face off against the Desert Vista Thunder. Have a great night.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.